We begin with breaking news out of India. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has announced the farming laws that sparked mass protests for more than a year will be withdrawn. The 3 laws passed in September last year allow for privatisation, but farmers have protested, saying their livelihoods are being ruined. 2/3 of India's population relies on the agricultural sector. The demonstrations have been the largest challenge to his prime ministership yet. Modi says the repeal process will start next month. Let's listen to what he had to say.
Today, I've come to tell you, the whole country, that we have decided to withdraw all 3 agricultural laws. I want to say, with a sincere and pure heart, that perhaps there may have been something lacking in our pious efforts, due to which we were not able to explain to some farmers the truth, which was as evident as the light of the lamp.
Let's get more from our correspondent Charu Karthikeyan, who joins us from one of the key protest sites in Delhi. Charu, protests have been ongoing for a year. Just remind us why these laws were so controversial.
Hi, Rebecca. So these protests have been going on for about a year now, and these laws were so controversial because the farmers felt that they would have these laws would have uprooted their they would have taken away the livelihood of the farmers from them. The minimum support price is a mechanism that has been in place for farmers across the country for decades now, and it assures the farmers of a certain minimum remuneration for their crops. Now, they felt that these laws would have taken the MSP or the minimum support price away from them. Then the farmers also feared that the only people that these laws would benefit would be middlemen and industrialists and big farmers, whereas small farmers who comprise the chunk of the farmers in India would be left to fend for themselves. And which is why these protests have been going on in several parts of the country. But the center, the heart of these protests was these several border points in Delhi, and I happen to be standing at one of them. This is called the Ghazipur border. It's between Delhi and Uttar Pradesh. Rebecca.
Is this Modi and his government simply bowing to pressure?
It would appear so, Rebecca, because these protests have been going on for about a year. The police in various states and the government, they've tried their best to dissuade the farmers to accept the laws and to go back home. But then the farmers have been camping on Delhi's borders for about a year now, and they've been braving all kinds of odds. They've been braving change in weather patterns, they've braved lathi charge, they've braved water cannons, and they have also braved death. So a lot of farmers in this interregnum have died because of COVID and because of several other reasons. In fact, some farmer organizations claim that about 700 farmers have lost their lives. So this was, in any case, a moral pressure was building up upon the government. And now most analysts are of the opinion that since elections are about to take place in at least 2 critical states, Punjab and Uttar Pradesh, which are largely agrarian, and the ruling party, BJP, feared that its electoral prospects might suffer a big setback because of these protests. And probably this decision has been announced keeping those elections in mind. Rebecca.
Charu, this must be very good news for the protesters. How are those people there behind you reacting?
Well, they've definitely welcomed it as a good news. When we reached this protest site, we could hear the sound of firecrackers. We could hear music. People were dancing. And just still a couple of moments ago, we saw a couple of people distributing sweets, making fresh sweets here and distributing it among everybody who's present here. So the farmers are definitely happy. They've welcomed it, but with a rider. At least one of the farmer leaders, who's called Rakesh Tikri, he has announced that the farmers are not going to go back yet. And that's because they said that right now this is only an announcement and the official process to repeal these laws has not been completed. So the winter session of the Indian Parliament begins on the 29th of November. And as the Prime Minister announced this morning, that it is during this session that these laws are likely to be repealed. And the farmers have announced that once that legislative process is complete, it is only then that they will go back.
Charu, thank you. DW correspondent Charu Karthikeyan speaking to us from Delhi.